Well, growing up in the Bay, were you generally a good kid, or did you get caught up in some trouble?
I was like a middle child, right? I never really I came from like a family of hustlers. So I always watched like my uncle, he did 12 years in jail. Another uncle did 5 years in jail. My auntie went to jail. My mom did a little time. Like everybody in my family, one of my older cousins who I looked up to, he went to jail. So everybody always kind of went to jail. So I naturally like tried to stay away from things that would land me in jail. But I would always like dibble and dabble in the little things. As a kid, you know, you curious and you trying to figure it out. You trying to figure life out. So I would always dibble and dabble, but I never really crossed the line too far. I always kind of just like stuck to what it was I believed in. And as a kid, I played basketball. So I was always into basketball, always into sports. And as I got into music, you know, I focused on that. So I never really played the streets too heavy. I dibbled and dabbled, like I said before, but I never really got fully invested into like, you know, trying to be a street, quote unquote street nigga.
Okay, so the rapping started around 13?
Yep. Started rapping for fun, really like 11. My mom used to have a house in Vegas, and we used to drive from the Bay Area to Vegas, like a 9-hour drive. And I used to write raps on the way out there, just writing raps about my days or how long the trip would take and everything like that. So that's where I kind of developed the love for it.
Okay, and you started battle rapping.
Yeah, it was battle rapping at school. And I was heavily influenced by Murder Mook. Shout out to Murder Mook.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to watch Murder Mook. Me and my homies, Bam and Josh, we was like the first kids in the Bay at our school watching like the Smack DVDs. Because I used to travel with my mom a lot because she was doing real estate. So we would go to New York for like Christmas and all these different things. So I would get like these Smack bootlegs and different mixtapes, and I would always bring them back home. And me and my homies, we got like heavily invested into the battle rap community. And we started trying to take it to school. So we would go to school and start battling different kids. And, you know, that's kind of where I got my charisma and my personality from, was just like standing in front of everybody rapping early.
Okay, so you're rapping and you continue to rap through high school.
Yeah.
But nothing's really happening at this point, right?
Nah.
In terms of, you know, taking it to the next level.
Yeah, like high school fame.
Yeah.
You
Just
know,
local,
but nothing,
you know,
nothing
your friends
serious.
fuck with it and everything else like that.
Yeah.
So you graduate high school.
Yeah.
And then you moved to LA, what, about a year or so after?
Nah, So I went through this phase, bro, when I was about, I want to say 18, 19, where I started trying to like stand up to my mom. You know what I mean? I feel like we as kids, like some of us, especially growing up without a dad, you fear your mom more than anything. So I got to this age where it was just like certain things my mom wanted me to do that I just didn't want to do. So I started standing up to her. So I remember one day we got in an argument and she like swung on me and I like caught her fist, right? And I was like, I'm not a little boy no more. You can't swing on me, right? So I left the house. I walked out the house that night and I had a girlfriend at the time and I went to go stay with her for a little bit. And I was literally just running around the Bay for like a few years, just like bouncing around. I had a studio that was in the house. I started living there for a little bit, just talking to different girls, bouncing around from their crib to crib. And I ended up starting to drive down here. I had a homie named Young Murph. And Young Murph was kind of like, he was like the bridge from the Bay to LA for me. And he knew just like a bunch of people and he took a liking to my talent and he was like, man, bro, you need to come down to LA and fuck with us. Like we got some cool shit going on out there. So he had this spot right off Hollywood Boulevard. I can't remember the cross street. It was Hollywood Boulevard or something. But he had this spot. He was like, yeah, just come crash on the couch. So I came out here and I fell in love with it, bro. It was different than the Bay. It was an infrastructure that we didn't have up there.
Right.
And I was moving around, going to different studios, meeting different people. And me and Nick Nack started working. And I started realizing I was making my best music when I was working with Nick Nack. And Nick Nack was living in LA. So I kept saying like, man, I need to move to LA. So I think I was around 23 or 24. I came down here to work with Nick one day, Nick and my homie Trevor Case. And it was a fish dish off Lancashire and Chandler. I went to the fish dish to get something to eat, and they had these lofts right next to it. And I was like, man, I'm about to go in there and apply for one of these lofts. Like, if I get approved, I'm moving to LA. So I went in there and applied, and like a day or two later, I was driving back to the Bay. And right as I got to like Modesto, Stockton area, they called me and was like, you got approved. So I literally went home, started packing all my shit, moved down to LA, bro. Been here ever since.
Yeah, see, that's the thing about the Bay is that the most talented people in entertainment generally have to move out of the Bay in order to make it.
You got to.
I mean, yes, you have the E40s, right? Shout out to OG E40, good friend of mine.
Sure.
He stayed there, he settled down, and he did it on a big level.
Yeah.
But he's like kind of like the only one.
Well,
everyone else, like, you, me, Sweetie, Kehlani, like, the story goes on and on of everyone they get to a certain level and they say, all right, I either got to go to New York or LA or Atlanta.
Yeah.
And that's where they usually make the noise.
I think the thing with 40 is he's one of the pioneers.
Yeah.
So he was early into building out what rap looks like in the Bay Area. He was one of the first people with a record deal. Him, Richie Rich, Too Short, Master P. So he was early to it, to where he was building it out. I feel like it's so tough for our generation because everybody in the Bay, bro, motherfuckers feel like it can only be one person that wins.
Yeah, the Bay is interesting because I remember just me being a DJ in the Bay, right? Because I started DJing in the Bay around 2000.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, yo, I'm going to be the biggest DJ in the Bay. I'm
Yeah.
gonna run the Bay, blah, blah. So, and I started meeting all the big DJs, and they all lived at home with their moms.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be Bay famous.
Bro,
I'm trying to be world famous.
Bro,
this
you
is
won't
not gonna
believe
work.
you won't believe the amount of criticism I get when people say I'm from Oakland. Right? And it's so crazy because when you move around the world, what's the two places people know of the Bay Area? San Francisco and Oakland.
Right.
So they naturally say, you're from Oakland or you from San Francisco. But it's like you get people like, he ain't from Oakland. He ain't never know. It's like, bro, this how the world sees the Bay. But y'all so one-track minded of what y'all see in y'all area. Y'all not even opening up to really what the fuck is going on in the world. So I feel like we got like this like crabs in the barrel mentality, which is fucked up because crabs shouldn't even be in a barrel. But that's neither here nor there. But we got this like mentality of like when somebody's winning that's not us or somebody we don't know, we can't support it. Or when somebody's doing something different, it's like people don't support it because they're not winning. And in all actuality, that's a reflection of them being mad at themselves. Because it's like this shit that I'm doing today, and people be like somebody was dissing me yesterday on Instagram. And they was like, yeah, you could have LeBron come to your show and all this. Woo. And it's just like, bro, you mad at me because you not getting up doing the work. You know what I mean? Like, don't be mad at me for your lack of work ethic. Nigga, get your ass up and work. You know what I'm saying? Everything I've been doing, bro, this shit come off the strength of me. Like, I be out here moving around. I just did Tiny Desk, right? I locked in Tiny Desk because Wallow, who's my big homie, Wallow hit me one day and he was like, yo, I'm hosting Broccoli City Fest in Washington, D.C. He's like, if you could come out here, I'm going to throw you the mic. Just get out here. I'm like, bet. I really didn't even have the finances to go out there at the time, right? Because I had the finances for me to go for myself, but when I move, I got to move a certain way. So I got to book 6 different flights, 6 different hotels, sprinters, you know what I mean? Security, all these different things. So this is really like a $25,000 trip just on the strength, you know what I mean? So I get out there, boom, rock the show, kill the show, Wallow throw me the mic. And as I'm getting off stage, I meet this beautiful person, Abby O'Neill, who was working at NPR at the time. And she was like, yo, you're really dope. Like, let's exchange contacts. Ooh. Like, bet, take my number. She ended up coming to LA. I told her, anytime you're in LA, let me know, we'll link up. She ended up coming to LA. I took her to dinner, went out to eat, hung out, we kicked it, played her the music. She was like, I gotta get you on Tiny Desk. Right? So that happened off me moving around, making my own connects. And people don't move around. So they think because they can't go do something, the label did it. Or somebody set it up for you. When it's like, nah, I'm actually out here putting in the work y'all motherfuckers need to be putting in. But y'all mad at me because y'all can't get off y'all ass and go do it. That ain't my motherfucking fault.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.